Hi guys, welcome back to this 5th episode of The Spear. I think so. Today, me, Sadie, Max, and Ash are gonna be talking about Bird Box. I only watched the second half of it because I'm a fake.
Yeah.
So,
Not gonna lie about that.
but Ash read. You read the book and watched the movie.
I read the book and I watched like the first 15 minutes of the movie.
See, I didn't even know there was a book that was based off of.
Yeah, I read it in like 7th grade and I remember most of it. So.
Well, was the movie authentic to the book?
No, from what my friends have told me, like they cut out a lot of characters, and there was a dog that ended up being Mallory's like pal in the book, and especially with the blind school, it was never a blind school. It was a sanctuary where people had taken out their eyes in order to survive. Yeah, I know.
Which is a lot darker.
It was weird.
Yeah.
It was weird. Basically, the fact that a lot of characters were out, and Tom actually dies in the house with everybody else. Spoiler alert. Sorry. Tom does
spoilers
not
are allowed
survive.
in these. I have officially decided. I decided that
Right
last
now?
time. No, before. You can say spoilers because that's how you can actually roast it. I liked the way that. I mean, I didn't like the way that Tom died, but like I thought it was cool. I thought it was like
Because it
sad.
was
In the
exactly
book-
how you would have expected him, because like
Yeah.
the selflessness
Yeah.
and acts of
In the
bravery
book,
kind of thing.
he dies when Gary kind of makes everyone go.
Oh, Gary.
in that house with everyone
Yeah, in
else.
that
I would also like to say that's when I started watching the movie. It was exactly at that scene.
Did you just decide, like, I'm just going to start it at a random time?
No,
Just
no.
chose that time? Did
No,
you?
that would have been funny. No, my brother, his girlfriend, and like 6 of his friends were all in a room like watching that movie, and I just walked in and I was like, "What are y'all watching?" And they were like, "Bird Box," and then I.
I love me some Sandra Bullock, but like I didn't want to watch the whole thing.
There could be 100 people watching Bird Box.
Anyway,
They're having their own side conversation. We ignore.
It's fine.
I don't know. I knowing that it came from a book first actually kind of helped me, because that was like, it kind of explained some of the decisions or some of the plot points or character traits in a way. But I can deal with the blood and the gore and when it's for a good purpose, but I felt like artistically it was not worth the violence, in the sense that I kept having to close my eyes and
It
like
was
skip
gruesome.
ahead, and I couldn't do it.
Yeah, like the senseless violence for no reason. Like what?
Some
There were
stuff.
Was
things
it
that
that way
didn't
in
need
the
to be-
book? Like people, like they saw something and it was really violent ways that they would like
Yeah,
kill
was it
themselves?
as-
No, they would kill themselves after seeing the monsters, but the monsters never really got anything fleshed out. It was really left up to interpretation.
Yee.
My Texan coming out there. It was really left up to the reader's interpretation, mostly, whether it was a phenomenon or aliens or monsters or a disease or anything like that. It really was.
Yeah. Well, they never
And
really
I feel like
explained the
they-
monsters in the movie.
In the
I
movie, it
think
was
they
kind of the
call it
same way.
I think they consider it aliens. Maybe that's what I was
Is it?
told.
Because it was...
That's what it seems, because there was one part where you see like a cloud moving in almost, or like
I didn't watch
That's what that's why I feel like it was left up to interpretation, because everyone
What
saw,
about
because
when they
everyone would
started
be like,
talking to Sandra Bullock, Mallory, right?
Yeah, Mallory.
In the forest, they like started like.
that's why I think
when did they?
for everybody, they're like individual things that they fear.
Yeah, but I'm surprised that like she didn't even have to look at them, and then all of a sudden they can talk, and I was like, why couldn't they do that before?
or maybe not so much fear, but like, you know, in the beginning,
I thought it was
when the
fear.
woman Lydia, the guy's wife, when she's walking out there and she's like, "Mom," and he's like, "Oh, her mom's been dead for 10 years. There's no way that was her," and
Oh yeah.
like it's maybe not their fear, but like the one thing that would get them to.
Yeah, something that would,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
And I
something
think
they'd
the
be willing
reason
to, like...
this is an entire theory. Maybe like once
go for
everyone,
it.
like millions of people started like killing themselves, they like it gained power and started being able to get more
Yeah.
people to try and open their eyes. And then,
See, I always wondered why they wanted people to kill themselves. I never saw the point. Like, what the aliens, monsters... I mean, I guess that's what it's supposed to be, is there is no point to it. Maybe that's, like... There has to be some kind of, like, social,
I
like...
can't speak today. Subliminal.
Like the whole thing was like one
commentary.
giant allegory for motherhood.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like the journey to
I
the
had no
journey
idea
to the sanctuary or the blind school, whatever version book movie you want, is basically this whole like real big symbolic journey of motherhood, because in the movie, like, it's much more action packed, like going down the river and the man trying to take her kids and stuff, and going through, you know, like, having to send your kids off to school, or having to, you know, deal with your kids getting hurt and stuff, and, you know, child predators, so all
makes
things you deal
so
with.
much more sense. And I think
It
that
does,
if
but
they
I
had-
hate that.
Yeah, if they had put more effort into establishing that in the movie, I probably would have enjoyed it a lot more, because I feel like you said, it was a lot more action packed, so a lot of the things that they were focused on were entirely like just action and like
Just focal points for the plot rather than for the
entertainment.
message.
It felt more like a
yeah.
horror film, which was that what it was supposed to
Yeah,
be?
they took this well-crafted book, and yeah, it had some like dark elements and stuff, but I can't remember the main purpose for it. But I don't believe it was a horror. Don't quote me on that. But like they took that, and then it happened. I'm gonna use Sweeney Todd as a reference because I'm really into that right now, because it just got done with that. But anyways, basically, when you take something like a musical and you adapt it into a movie, or you take a book and you adapt it into a movie, not everything is going to translate the same. And I think that's kind of what happened with Bird Box when they turned it into a movie. They thought that they also changed a couple of plot points, and they took out the dog, which was my least favorite part. Don't take out the dog. Give me some dog rep. Come on. I love dogs. Dogs in the movies are great. Off topic. Anyways, like, you have to change a few things sometimes, and I think that's what
I
happened.
have
with
one
action.
question about the book. Were the kids called boy and girl in the book?
Yes, I
I
think
find
so.
that weird. I feel like they're copying The Road by Cormac McCarthy.
I never even made that connection.
As soon as I watched it, I was like, that whole story about them like going up the cliff, and then her being like, "No, you can't tell these kids that story because it's not real. It's not real." I was like, "Ugh, this feels icky. It feels like you're just copying McCarthy's words." Like, that was his whole book.
I can understand that, but I think it was more of a reflection on her character. And because,
Oh, yeah.
you know, from the very beginning, she was, like, ignoring the fact that she was pregnant. Or not ignoring it, but,
Yeah.
like...
She was afraid to face reality in a lot of situations.
Yeah.
And I think that the whole journey that she goes through was kind of like her way of realizing that, like, if she can't do it, then how is she going to be able to help other people through things like that?
And when
Yeah.
she finally names her kids at the end, I really like that.
Oh, that was
I thought
cute.
she'd give
I
them new
saw that.
names.
Yeah.
I wanted new names.
Like, she
Like,
Yeah.
don't recycle the old names.
I thought she was
The
going to
old.
call...
So it'd be
I
weird.
thought
It
she
would be
was
so
going to
weird
call
to
the
have your
girl...
dead parents' name.
Oh my god, yeah.
That'd be really weird. My dad
Well-
almost named me Francis, and his name is Francis, and thank God he didn't.
I would have
Yeah.
known.
Well, like,
I
it's
think...
the concept that she finally accepted what happened.
Yeah.
And, like, she's facing reality, kind of going back to that. But I think that I didn't like... Or I thought she would have named the girl... You know how Olympia was talking about how she wanted it to be, like, Cinderella and
Yeah,
call her
she
Ella,
just-
like, Disney names. I thought that was really cute, and I thought maybe she would do that. But I think
Yeah,
that...
she probably should have.
I think that was more of a comment on Olympia's character more than a comment on Mallory's character. So
Oh,
I
it was
think
almost
that's
like
better.
fantasy versus reality, and reality kept them living, and fantasy got her killed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
She was...
Which is very McCarthy of her.
I love Olympia so much. I love that actress. I loved her in Dumplin'.
I didn't
Also,
see her
'cause-
character until she died, so.
Oh my
No,
god.
I would go back
Big
because
fan.
she's like the most tragic one in my opinion, because she dies.
She loved so much. Like, she wasn't sacrificing herself. She was
Yeah.
just...
I
think
wonder what she
living.
could have seen, though, because if
Yeah.
she was such a happy person.
But at the
Well,
same time, she
yeah.
did mention how, like, she was a very soft person because she was, like, an only child, I think, and she, like, grew up with a lot of stuff just given to her.
Ick.
And
Yeah.
Sandra Bullock's character was, like, the exact opposite.
That's kind of interesting.
And
the
that's how she
context.
even was like, I wish I were, like, kind of hard like you sometimes because I would be able to, like, just do things.
Yeah. Also,
That's gotta be foreshadowing.
that's another
Yeah.
big thing. Is Sandra Bullock's character versus the book character. Mallory. That's her name. That's I'm
There she is.
We're just experts.
and I'm
There
being
she
called the
be.
fake fan.
sorry.
No.
My mind is just bedazzled today.
So.
Basically, Mallory in the book is a lot more timid, and throughout the book she becomes more strong-willed and more independent, whereas in here she starts off really independent and
Interesting.
determined.
It's
I
a-
guess.
So
it's
she
a
never
bit
has that
out-
coming of age. She doesn't follow the, like, she doesn't follow along with the.
Not necessarily.
Where she is, I'm
still
like,
has a
I couldn't
decent
explain
arc
that.
in the Netflix movie, but like
Yeah.
in the book, it was much more about her as a character. It wasn't necessarily about all these other characters, and it wasn't necessarily focusing on the action and the journey. It was how to come to terms with everything around you and how events change you.
And that's the thing about like that's the thing about like
Yeah.
movie adaptations is that they have to sensationalize things in a way.
That's true.
So it takes a lot away from the original
You
message.
need
Yeah.
that action
Otherwise
to keep
people
people
are-
entertained.
Yeah. Like, I mean, Call Me By Your Name didn't really do that, and then people were like, it's boring, or like, but, you know, it was more artistic. Anyways, end question, because we're running short on time.
Yes.
So, what were your all's thoughts as, like, right as it ended? I guess you don't have that.
I saw the last scene
But,
because
yeah.
it wasn't.
What
as
was your,
gruesome.
like, final feeling at the end of the movie? Because I still don't even know how I felt. I was really conflicted at the end.
I think I was, for the most part, satisfied with the ending. I felt okay about it. I was like, that's how I would have wanted it to end.
Yeah,
It was
I see that.
acceptable. That's
Yeah, it was it was bittersweet because all these people died and they all had this hope for the sanctuary, and she and the
And the
two
fact
kids were the only
that
one
Tom
who made
didn't
it.
make it, and he was the one, it was his idea to
Yeah.
even go for it.
he was the
I did
proponent
want
for
to
it.
know. I did want to know about the rest of the world.
Mm-hmm.
I wanted to know if that was like, someone had mentioned biological warfare before. I wanted to know if that was like specific to that area, Russia and Europe, and then in California, if it was like a
Interesting.
Western civilization thing,
Yeah.
or if it was everywhere. Because I think
Yeah.
that would change my mind about a lot of things. But
Yeah.
other than that, I was pretty satisfied with the ending.
It's, again, like, the book didn't really, I think even the author at one point, I saw this in a YouTube video, so I don't know if it's true or not, but, like, the author said at some point, like, he was asked about where the monsters came from. He's like, I don't know. Like,
Well, yeah,
it
Well, that's
was-
kind of the part of it.
Yeah.
It's, like, it's
Yeah.
supposed to be an
It's-
individualistic kind of.
it's different for every
decision.
person, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm going to end it there. Thank you all for watching. All one of you. Me. I'll cut that out. I hope y'all enjoyed it and that you go and check out the rest of the traveltribune.org.